Let's talk about Windows management in Zemax. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about Windows management in Zemax. This is the System Explorer that is one of the most important part of Zemax. We usually set the parameters like aperture, fields, wavelengths, all different parameters in this section of Zemax, and then we don't change it that much. Usually we set, for example, the wavelengths. If we want to work, for example, with Heaney laser, we set it at 633. If we're going to use it for visual system, we set it at RGB, red, green, blue, and we don't change it that much. And when the design get matured, the chance of changing those parameters get less and less. So that's the System Explorer. We can hide and unhide System Explorer here. When you click here, that's the same. We can get to System Explorer. Even we can change the position of each parameter. For example, for the polarization, we can move it up. Field, we can move it down. All the parameters can be changed. The position of all the parameters can be changed in System Explorer. Let me close. Okay, here we have the workbench of Zemax, as I mentioned before. Right now we have lens data. Let's open one file. No, when you click on open file, Zemax automatically goes to samples, and in samples you have different parts, a different sections that is related to different parameters. Now let's open one file and take a look at Windows management. When you click on open, Zemax automatically goes to document, Zemax, and samples. In samples, we have different samples that is pre-designed, and we can take a look at them, and that's a very good source of information. We can look at the different designs to see how the parts are designed and optimized. So now let's go to sequential. Let's go to objective. Let's open one of the samples, like double Gauss 28 degrees field. So when you look at this file, we should have a lot of different windows. So those are all different parts of the Zemax, like lens data that we're going to talk about it, matrix spot diagram, RMS VS field. We have different parts of the windows. So we can move the windows. When I click on this windows, I can put it like a tab here. You can move it here, put it there. Or when you click on a window, you can put it on the right hand side. Right now I put it on the right hand side. You can even put it on the bottom side. I have 3 windows. Or I can make it full screen. Actually, right now I can see the whole windows. The other option, you can click on the windows and click on close all, but this one is going to close all the windows. You can float it, float all. Right now all the windows are floating. I can put it outside of my screen, or I can click and dock all the windows. Right now all the windows are docked. So those are different things that we can do with each windows. Now let's look at one of the windows. For example, let's look at lens data. Here, this is the part that we import all the data that we're going to talk about it. We have different parameters, different tools on the top, and we have help button. And usually in Zemax, for each object or each parameter, we have a properties here. For example, for an object, we can click and we get access to all the different parameters. Now let's look at the lens layout. We have the same settings. We have the same button that we can use it for settings. We have settings. We have different tools here. We have help button. Like RMS, the same. We have settings. We can change the settings, press OK, or we can save the settings. And for each windows, usually we have graph and text that we're going to talk about it in more details.